Hello everyone, welcome to this new video and this new episode that I want to share it with you. I'm very welcome in your channel, your with me channel. As you know, in this channel we want to learn English in the best way and in the easiest way. Yes. Uh, but before I start our lesson today and this episode, I want to tell you about this that if you are interested to our videos and want to learning English with me in this channel, please don't forget about our subscribing channel and don't forget about turn on the bell for get the notification of new videos that we share with you in this channel. And don't forget about sharing my videos with your friends and for every person who want to learn English and help him to learn English in this channel with this channel. Okay, I'm very hopeful and I'm very glad and happy that I have a clever students in this channel who wants to learn English, and I think and I am very sure that you are very hard work to learning English. But in this episode, what I want to say, I want to start another episode and another important tips about learning English that refers to some mistakes. Okay, in the last video that I share it for you, and it's separate. That is separate from this video. Okay, it was about 10 mistake imagination of learning English. But this episode, I want to in this episode, I want to teach for you and say for you and number for you some mistakes. Okay, for about learning English. Okay, and this episode refers to some mistakes that finished in the uh, learn don't in the lack of learning English. Okay, in this episode, and this episode I think is separate from that episode that I shared it for you. But in this episode and in this video, what things I want to tell you about, don't do these mistakes of learning English. These mistakes that I want to tell you about them. Number one, they are about four or five or six. Okay. Number one, using limited methods to learn the language. Okay, using limited methods. For example, you just limited yourself of, for example, in studying book, not for example, uh, sound any podcasts. Okay, this can be very bad because you don't use, for example, a good method for learning English. You lose useful methods. Okay, you just limited yourself in a special method. Another tip is about not speaking English. This is very bad because learning English limited to speaking, and every you try to speak in English, it can help for yourself and it can help yourself with improve and make you be succeed in learning English. Okay, successful in learning. Tip number three refers that not listening to English audio sources. And for example, the lack of listening to any podcasts. Okay, podcasts, podcast sources. And audio sources. This is very bad because, for example, imagine in your mind that you are very good in writing. For example, you are very good in vocabulary. You are very good in grammar, but you lose another skills. For example, you lose the listening skills. Okay, and it can be very bad for you that, for example, you are good in a special language and you are very good in a special skill, but you are very weak in another skills. Okay, it's very bad and it's not good for you. Number four, mistake number four is about determining irritational goals in the processing of learning English. Okay, one of the things that is perhaps less paid attention to is choosing illogical goals for learning English, for language learning, which often causes people to get confused, disappointed, and tired of learning a language and finally abandon it. Okay, as you can see, it can be very important. The tip number five refers that have a and do a pause, and it's not difference between a little pause or a big pause. Okay, they are same together. They are very same. Okay, have a pause and interruption to learning English. Okay, have an interruption to learning English. For example, you stop learning your English. For example, about 2 months. Okay, and this is very important and many scientists says that uh, if you want to learn a language and not especially in English, okay, you need to study 2 hours a day. Okay, for example, every day you need to study that language, especially in English. Okay, or for example another else. And this is important point that you should pay your time and spend your time 2 hours every day in every day to learn it, and don't make any interruption. Okay, don't make any interruption to learn it. For example, I can see some students who, for example, do and have an interruption of learning English. For example, 1 year, okay, or for example 2 years, you have an interruption about 2 years, and this is very bad. It can causing to your disappointed. It can cause you that abandon learning English, cause that you don't see, for example, a necessary thing and necessary reasons for learning it. Okay, for learning English. And the last one, the last tip refers that translating the language and not thinking in English. Just translating. For example, you have a book and start, for example, with the translating of its sentences and its pages, okay? And don't think in English. You don't try to writing by yourself, okay? You just want to translate it. You just want to, for example, get you a page, okay, and write and have has written it on it in English, and you using of them and just have it translating. This is very false imagination. This is very false work because it can makes you weak, okay, about learning English. But if you try to thinking more and more, it can cause to learning English well as well, and it can because that you write a special book for yourself, okay, in English, and it can be very useful for you. So I hopeful that my students or some persons lack of these uh, mistakes that I numbered them for you, and I hopeful that you spend very good times with studying English and be very skillful in this language. Have a good time. Goodbye.